Number one, why do you think that might be happening? And number two, like, have you ever had an experience like that yourself?
They handed me a letter. Said, you have 90 days to close your bank accounts.
We are back with another video with Andrew Henn from Bayshore Bullion Exchange. What's going on, bud?
What's happening, Tony?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
What's on your hand here? What do we got here?
These are 2 rings.
Can you take this off, or is it
sure.
stuck on there? I noticed in our last video.
So this is a ring that I had custom made. It has my business logo on it.
That is cool. I'm just blocking you so that people can see the. Look at that. Now that's pure gold, I assume.
So the coin is made out of 18 karat.
Okay.
But this was custom made by one of my customers who's a jeweler.
Okay.
So had it made for my logo for my business.
I know
this is just a white gold diamond studded ring that matches it. You know
So
what I mean?
now I noticed that the logo ring, it's on your middle finger,
Yeah.
and so if anybody ever gives you a hard time, just a jab to the forehead, you leave the logo on there.
It. You'll know that Bayshore Bullion Exchange is there.
So I had a question for you. And by the way, that's a nice watch. We'll get to that another time. I want to talk to you about that thing. Yeah. All right. Now we're on the subject of it. Yes, it is a Rolex, all iced out.
This is called a bust down.
Jesus Christ! And here I got my G-Shock on today.
It's a 15 karat diamond studded date.
That is insanity. I'm not gonna ask how much you paid on camera. Off camera, I might ask just because I'm curious. Are you a watch guy?
Yeah, I like watches.
Did you
First time buying a Rolex.
How long ago did you get that?
I've had this about a year now.
So I just got mine maybe 6 months ago or so, around 6 months, 8 months ago. First luxury watch that I ever had. It's like this. It's an awesome feeling you can't describe when you finally put this luxury watch on your wrist.
And it definitely gets people's attention. I get so many compliments.
I was
at Monmouth Racetrack 2 weeks ago, and man, I must have had 5-6 people stop and say, dude, can I check that watch?
Yeah, look at the thing. Yeah, it's like a rapper would have that.
In the sun.
If you want to blind somebody, you just reflect the light in their face.
My thing with watches, I have this beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Right? I also have a Fitbit that monitors your heart, your steps, all this other stuff. And I have a hard time wearing this just because that's so much information that the Fitbit gives that, like, I don't know, the Rolex is cool and all, but the Fitbit takes my heart. it monitors my heart, my steps, my location. It's...
So you kind of go back and forth like this is the flash piece.
This is where I wear at work.
Okay. I would imagine that you would want the Fitbit because of your line of business to monitor your heart rate.
My stress.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
But that is a nice watch. Congratulations on that one. That's awesome. I had a question for you now. This is something that's been happening more recently. I don't know as to the main reasons as why there's an uptick in this right now, but I'm seeing in the stacking community, content creators are posting videos about coin shops essentially having their bank accounts closed on them. And I wanted to pick your brain on that subject. Number one, why do you think that might be happening? And number two, like, have you ever had an experience like that yourself? So why would this be happening?
I'll start off with your second question first.
Okay.
Definitely happened to me before. I got thrown out of a bank a couple of years ago.
Now, when you say thrown out of a bank, you walked in there belligerent?
Went there one day, and they handed me a letter. Said, you have 90 days to close your bank accounts. It was just... They really didn't give me a reason why at first.
What the heck? You just walked in there for one day. You were doing deposits, or?
Nah, I don't even do deposits. I don't even deposit cash. I withdraw. But I guess so. To answer the first question, why? I think a lot of these companies, which I had at the time, I don't even know why it was an issue. They need anti-money laundering policy.
Okay.
You have to know who you're doing business with. You have to know where this money's coming from. I explained to you that I buy and sell to dealers. So in order to do business with me, you have to have a wholesale tax ID. You have to give me your banking information, your driver's license. You have to be compliant with all my anti-money laundering policies, And I don't know if some of these companies might not have it. They might not even know about it,
right?
But the bank don't want to hear it. They're responsible. You have an account under their name.
Sure.
They're responsible. If you're laundering money or you're doing anything illegal, they don't want to be a part of it. So I think coin dealers, pawn shops, anything that deals in cash and secondhand buying and selling is kind of a gray area where you kind of have to know who you're doing business with. You know what I mean? Ever since 9/11, they passed a Patriot Act and all this stuff, and you can't just go into a store and whip out wads of cash and buy whatever. You have to, you know, I've set so many limits, $10,000 transactions. I recently lowered it to 8. You know what I mean? Yeah, you have to. Honestly, I don't even prefer dealing in cash. You know, now it's 2023. It's so easy to send a wire transfer payment. You know, you can do it on your phone.
Yeah.
You know, so I think cash is always the issue with banking, and even on this level, it's become like a cash logistics. You know, trying to figure out, you know, where you're gonna just keep coming up with cash to keep, you know, to accommodate your customers. It's in a dream world, I'd be only wire transfer. You know, cash not be an issue that way. It wouldn't be an issue with my bank either. You know, but I have a good banking relationship now. But I also have an anti-money laundering lawyer that I pay as a retainer. Every year I have a new certificate to, you know, my bank asks me for it every year. They've asked recently, you know, about certain customers, and you have to comply. There's really nothing. The minute you comply, you can forget about it. They throw you right out of their bank.
Right.
You know, so you have to be 100% transparent. On my end, you need a plan. You can't just open your doors and say, hey, I'm selling gold. You know, anything, like I said, there's $10,000. If I take IDs from everybody I do business with, you know, it's, and if they're not, just don't do business with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's either, you know, you have to have a plan.
I might ask you in the future for your anti-money laundering.
Yeah, I give them to people all the time.
Lawyer.
He helps a lot of people.
I've never had an issue. I also operate at a far smaller scale than you.
Yeah, no.
My transactions are also much lower. You know, I'm getting $200, $500 transactions, maybe up to $3,000, $4,000 max. You're dealing on a big, you know, on a bigger level. So, how long ago did this happen to you? When
2018.
So,
but when I did actually find out, I heard it was just like a wide sweep they did across the whole bank. Where
so it wasn't just you.
Yeah, it was just anyone that owned a pawn shop, anyone who was a coin dealer, anybody that was like, you know, in that secondhand buying and selling kind of business.
Okay.
You know,
so maybe
it wasn't nothing personal. I think it was just, you know,
that's what I was gonna say. Like, who'd you anger?
No, I think they just made a decision and said, you know what. This is like a gray area. We just don't even want to deal with
it. That's
you know
what I'm thinking. They just did too much risk for them to take that on. And so was that a local regional bank or was that a much larger bank?
It was a big bank.
It was a big bank.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so that has happened to you, but only once, right?
I'm praying and
praying it doesn't happen again.
It was a huge blow to my business at the time. Literally just, you know, you have to find a new bank, you know, and establish a new banking relationship. And
plus,
this is very banking, you know, it work hand in hand together. You have to have a really good banking relationship.
Sure.
You know, I send tons of wires every week. I deal in tons of, you know, do tons of business, and you need a bank on your side. You don't want to make any enemies. You don't, you know, you want everything to go smooth.
So what would I would imagine then as a plan B or like a backup, like you would have multiple, like, so these other coin shops and dealers and everything, they should have multiple bank accounts set up because then
you know what,
if one closes, you have another.
I mean, I don't know how you would fight that. I didn't know what to do. I just, you know, I went around and opened a new a new business like I would if I was a new business, you know, a new account. But I don't know. I don't know what they would do. I think it's just something that they don't give you a warning for. You just it just happens.
Well, you know, online, I know that some of there's YouTube content creators that just all they do is stacking and buying and selling and everything like that. And I know that recently, you know, laws were put into place where, you know, anything over $500 can't. Or you can only send up to $500 friends and family or something for a year, and then after that, everything has to be reported to the IRS.
Right.
And so I know, for the last few years at least, you know, I've always pretty much operated under business accounts. I don't do friends and family, and a lot of these other, YouTube channels and Instagram profiles or whatever, they complain that they're operating friends and family, and then they're having their accounts like essentially just frozen. Like the money's locked up, they can't access it. Sometimes up to, I want to say, 4 to 6 months. I've heard of one guy.
Oh, wow.
So, at least for you, that your bank, when they closed, they gave you, I'm assuming, gave you a bank check for whatever balances you had. Right. But I can't imagine. I just don't understand how a company could do that, like a PayPal, where they could just freeze your account and hold it for months like that, like you're hostage.
Yeah.
It's not their money.
That's the one thing about those type of payment. If they could just account's frozen, you're done. There's no access to it. You can't do anything to it. So yeah, it's tough.
So So what would you say then helps mitigate your risk of that ever happening again? You said you lowered your max from 10 down to 8,000.
Right.
So when you're doing multiple transactions, like somebody comes, they're like, you know what, Andrew, I've got 50K in gold I want to sell to you, or
$10,000. Rest is check or wire.
Gotcha. So you break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's, at least, it's. I thought it was like kind of bogus, or I thought that maybe people were doing it to get views or whatever. But the fact that you're saying, from personal experience, you've had it happen to you. It was tough.
It was a big blow to my business at the time. I had to scramble around and find a new bank.
This is crazy to me. I understand as to why the banks would do it, but it just, without giving any warning or for any way to appeal.
The worst part was I was 100%. I had an anti-money laundering policy.
Right. Didn't matter.
They ask who I do business with. I have a stack. Everyone has an account. I don't just do business with random people. Mm-hmm. You have to have a wholesale account to do business. So there was nothing I was doing wrong on my end. I think it was just a sweep that they did for industry related.
Right. All right. Well, I'm thinking next time we meet, I want to talk to you about another topic about crypto, because, I already kind of have an idea as to what you think about the sky is falling, the world's going to end, everybody get your silver type of people. And I wanted to this banking issue was more pressing, but I do want to get your thoughts on crypto on the next one, if that works for you.
Absolutely, man.
Guys, check out Andrew's website, Bayshore Bullion Exchange. I'm going to put all the information down below. Andrew, always a pleasure.
Good seeing you.
And I want to see that watch again.